I'm Mick McCarthy.
And I'm Tony Pulis.
And welcome to The Managers.
I still think Arsenal will win the title, but it's more exciting now than what it was before the cup final.
Now let's get back to Moyes. He's done a remarkable job at Everton. He really has.
What must West Ham be thinking? All the stick that Moyes got at the end there.
Burnley and Wolves, they're going down. But who out of Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham or West Ham do you think will join them?
You can't keep blaming the manager. The players have got to stand up. If they're not up to the mark, they'll go down.
Right, Tom, welcome back to the show. Don't forget you can email us on hello@themanagerspod.com. And for all the links, you can head to themanagerspod.com. Today we're going to take a closer look at the running and give our view. So we start with the Premier League title race. Arsenal are currently 9 points clear of Manchester City at the top, although they played a game more. And I was at the final yesterday, and what a strange game. Arsenal.
What did you think, Mick?
I thought Arsenal were great in the first half. Not without too many chances. They had the first 10 minutes, and I thought this is going to be tough for City. I could see Arsenal winning. Then it was an awful game then. Everybody inside at half-time saying, whoa, this better second half. Of course, if you're Arsenal, you hope that they were going to play better. Manchester City dominated it, I thought then. And deserve to win, outright winners.
It's amazing, Mick, isn't it? Sometimes, and you've been there many times, so have I, where you play the first half and you play ever so well first half, and then all of a sudden it's cut and you have your half-time break, and then you come out second half, and it's a completely different game, a completely different mindset. I watched it on the TV. I wasn't lucky enough or rich enough like you to go and watch it live. So, I had to sit down and watch it with all the grandchildren jumping over me. But what you said was right. When I looked at it at the beginning, I thought Arsenal, would run over them. But Man City, once they got into their rhythm second half, they're very, once they get that rhythm going, they're very, very difficult to play against.
It is a bit like when they're watching it, people, I'm listening to people, because all the supporters, not pressing, not in the second half. It looked like Arsenal weren't pressing away. But then once Manchester City get hold of the ball and they're comfortable with the ball, if you do go pressing it, you can soon get done as well.
Yeah.
But I could even see Arteta trying to squeeze them up, trying to go and press the ball because Manchester City were dominating it and came worthy winners anyway, I have to say. That aside now, we're doing the Premier League title race. The two sides still have to meet with a huge clash at the Etihad on April 19th. The thought process of that's going to be different now, I would imagine, isn't it?
I still think Arsenal will win the title. I still go for them. But it's more exciting now than what it was before the cup final. Yeah, that has really opened up a can of worms. It's how people are going to think. How are Arsenal going to react now? What are the players going to be like? What's his reaction going to be like? Because the Arsenal supporters would have walked out of the stadium. There was quite a few walking out with plenty of time to go. Thinking, well, we've blown that one. Are we going to blow the other ones? I don't see it. I think they've got enough to see it over the line. We both know what it's like when you're trying to get promotion or stave off a relegation. You're always looking at everybody else and what everybody else is doing. Well, they've only got one to look at, and that's Manchester City. So, big question. Is the title already wrapped up, or can City do the unthinkable and hunt Arsenal down? Just worth remembering. Manchester United blew an 8-point lead with 6 games to go back in 2012 when City famously won the title on goal difference. The League Cup result, it does shift it definitely, psychologically. Arsenal, if they'd have gone there and won it, they'd have thought, we'll wrap the league up, we'll walk this now. And now, trepidation. They've all gone off on international duty. I would imagine both managers are hoping none of them play and they all come back fit. Yeah. And I've been involved in that, of course, an international manager. You'll be getting calls, only play them 30 minutes, we need them for the league and all that. I used to make that phone call all the time, and the managers used to go, yeah, of course, yeah. And then you pick the paper up the next day, and they've played for 90-odd minutes. Absolutely. And Mick being one of them. Yeah, of course. I just think it's really caused mayhem for the fans, because that's what it's about. I'm sat with, fortunately, I got one of those
good tickets where they feed you and give you a drink as well.
But, look, he's playing on it. He's playing on it.
I was with the rich people.
He's been fed as well.
We weren't with the poor lads like you, mate. We were with the rich people. And so I'm sat with them, but it just emptied, and you can see the devastation it has with the fans. We know that. And, of course, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I still think that Arsenal will win it.
Yeah.
But they've got to double down and make sure they do. Although, me personally, I'm hoping City win it, of course. We'll get to the race for the Champions League football in the Premier League shortly. But first, this season's Champions League.
Yeah.
All 4 English sides were knocked out in the last 16. City, Newcastle, Spurs and Chelsea all eliminated early. So what's gone wrong for the Premier League in Europe this year? Why have the English teams struggled so much?
Well, one big point I'd like to make is the goals that were conceded by those 4 clubs. It's astonishing, really. You know, that we used to be renowned in this country for being really, really solid and not conceding goals. Yeah, I'm not sure how many goals were conceded, but it was astonishing to see City, Newcastle, Spurs and Chelsea. You know, they just opened up. You know, now I know Newcastle went to Barcelona, you know, and said, right, we're going to go man for man. We're going to really take you on. We're really going to have it. In the first half, they were very good. But once the game opened up, Mick, when you're playing against the top players in the world, they punish you. And if you don't take your chances, you're going to get punished. I was a little bit concerned, being obviously 100% for this league and our league, which is, I think, the best league in the world, that those clubs conceded so many goals. Because it's a game, Mick, with the ball, but there's a game without the ball as well.
Well, prior to that, you know, before it's the knockout stages, some of the games are brutally shocking and very negative and wanting to get through to those knockout stages. I love the knockout stage. It was like the Wild West. I'm seriously all over the place, chance after chance after chance with different teams, different clubs. But that's what we're saying. So once you open it up and you make it like that, then you've got to be good defenders. And if you're playing against the best strikers in the world, you're likely to get picked off unless you are doing your job absolutely properly and doing it collectively. You'll get done.
I was just going to say, collectively and individually, we really struggled. And as a coach for a long, long time, it is sort of like almost you metaphor these players into certain, you know, they've got to be able to do this, they've got to be able to do that. Defenders have got to be quick because we're going to end up facing one-on-one situations. Mick, it's not just being quick. Bobby Moore, one of our greatest defenders ever, you know, was pretty slow. But my God, did he read the game well? And did he put himself in good positions? And I think it's not, you know, it's almost like, I'm not saying it's a cop-out for coaches, but coaches, if they're looking at players, they go, oh, look, he's quick enough. He'll be able to do that job. If you're going to be a good defender, you also got to read danger and you've got to sense danger. And collectively, you've got to work with other players. And that's what makes strong and good defending.
I think we might have discussed this before, actually, about the love of defending, the respecting of defending, the fact that, you know, Italy, I would say one of the best at it anyway.
Yeah.
And when somebody blocks one on the line, or they're like, yes, they're celebrating good defending. And I always love that because it's not about being a good player. If you're a defender with the ball, take it off the opposition, keep it out of your net. And they did it, I would say, better than anybody for a long time.
If you look at the Chelsea team, if you look at Newcastle, Man City, technically some of the players just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But when you play against teams then that are very, very similar to you and have got the same amount of ability, and in some cases a little bit more, Mick, you've got to be able to work off the ball as well as on the ball. Absolutely. It's not a game of just with the ball. It's a game, it's a 50-50 game with the ball and without the ball.
Yeah. So PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, Sporting Lisbon. Liverpool, Arsenal, what do you think?
Blimey. I'll go Arsenal. I hate to say it, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to go for them to do the double. I think that helps me in respect of being a backer of the Premier League and our country.
Well, I'm looking at it. I don't know about either of them winning it. I mean, Liverpool, if they win it, considering the results they've had, and we didn't speak last week, but I was chatting to somebody, a Brighton fan, who was going to the game I'm flying back from Dublin, going to the game in Brighton. And I said to him, Liverpool have just played in Europe. You know, there's this stat went back, I think I've talked about it years before. If you play in Europe...
Oh, yeah, the next game,
and they haven't, they've got a real big chance of winning that game. So maybe it might be one of those seasons where Liverpool go all the way and get through and don't have a good league season.
So you go on Liverpool?
Well, I've got to go against you, Anna, no matter what I do. So. And you've had first pick again. Anyway, while we're on Europe, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest are still in the Europa League. Crystal Palace remain in the Conference League. Can any of them go all the way and win it?
Well, Unai Emery has got unbelievable record in that competition. I think he's won it 4 times with 2 different clubs. It wouldn't, and got in a final when he took Arsenal there. It wouldn't surprise me if Villa won that competition. And the other 2 clubs, Forest and Palace, have got a great chance, Mick. If you look at the budgets and you look at the money that we are spending on our clubs and the playing side of it, we should be getting to finals and we should be winning finals, full stop.
I think if we don't, we'd have to have a serious look at the Premier League, because everybody keeps saying, you've said it already, it's the best league in the world. I agree with you. I think that. But if there's no winning the European competition, we'd have to question that, wouldn't we, somewhat?
Well, I don't think we help ourselves, Mick. If you look at the big clubs, they get the weekend off before they play in Europe. We don't. Play, and we're coming back. And the top clubs like Arsenal and Man City, and they've been in. They're not just in, the Premier League. They're playing in the League Cup and then the FA Cup, and so they've got game after game after game. And at this time of year, Mick, it does drag you down. It's not just physically; it's mentally as well. Whereas abroad, there's a much more lighter fixture list, so they're going in a little bit fresher at this time of the year than what our lads are. So I'm just sticking up for the Premier League again, Mick.
And I agree with you. And what I listen to is, if I listen to, a game or fans, you're just chatting to them. They look like they're not trying. Oh, come on. Professional footballers, come on. You've been trying since you were this big to end up playing. You are trying. Sometimes you're knackered. At the end of the season.
And mentally, Mick, not just physically.
Or physically. Yeah. And that's the job of the coaches, the manager, to manage the load, to get the best out of them. But even so, you can still do everything you think is possible, and you go out on a Saturday, and it actually looks like they're not trying. Yeah. Because the other team's battering them. But let me just clear something up. They all are trying. Yeah. Because they're all proud of what they want to do and they all want to be winners.
I just think at this time of the year, I think the clubs abroad, because of their fixtures and because of the workload, they have a much fresher outlook in respect of themselves mentally and physically than what our lot do, because of the number of games we play.
Well, if you look at the teams that are in with Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, Braga, Real Betis, Freiburg, Celta Vigo, Bologna, you think there's a chance there for them to win. I'm not dissing them, but Shakhtar Donetsk in the Conference, AZ Alkmaar, Palace, of course, Fiorentina, Rayo Vallecano, AEK Athens, Mainz and Strasbourg.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all the lower teams in Europe, and I guess what you'd say is Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace are maybe viewed that way, but one of them could win one of those competitions.
Well, our leagues, you would say, from strength-wise, from top to bottom, our league is most probably stronger than any of the leagues those teams are playing in.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
Stop agreeing with me.
Sorry, that's not like me, is it?
No, I know. You've done it twice.
Let's find something to disagree with. Anyway, now back to the Premier League and the race for the Champions League football next season. Manchester United and Aston Villa currently sit 3rd and 4th. And with the 5th Champions League spot looking likely, the door is wide open. That'd be interesting. That brings Liverpool, Chelsea, Brentford and Everton into the mix, with Fulham and Brighton still with an outside chance. So who do you think secures those Champions League spots? I'm going to have to say, I hope Moisey does, because he's different class. He is.
Yeah, and we shouldn't really say this with our lads sat very close to us, but what must West Ham be thinking? All the stick that Moisey got at the end there. And that he's gone to Everton, he's revitalised that football club like he did at West Ham when he went in there. And he's hopefully, fingers crossed.
Did he win a competition there as well?
Yeah, and he won. And I'm going to agree with you now, Mick.
Oh.
I would love him to get in that
It's
spot.
great this Monday and having to love him with Pulis. So, we said about Moisey, of course, Liverpool, Chelsea, Brentford, Everton. It'd be interesting. Liverpool, I mean, I just wonder what's going on there. Chelsea, when they get murdered the other day, I'm thinking, what's going on there at those two clubs? Yeah. Brentford, still with an outside chance. Let's get back to Moyes. He's done a remarkable job at Everton. He really has this season. If he leads them into Europe, does he have a case for manager of the season?
No, he won't. They won't pick him. We might, but he won't get picked. I'll put my home on that.
The Premier League won't, but the managers have a chance to vote. Us, as managers, get a chance to vote for our own personal choice.
I think if Arsenal win the league, I think Arteta will get the manager of the year.
Yes, they always do from the LMA.
Being his first.
Absolutely, and he will deserve it. And of course, if Pep catches him up, he'll get it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So Dave's, although, our loving with Dave might just end at that. I hope and pray that he does get into Europe. One point, I think Carrick deserves a hell of a lot. Carrick,
absolutely.
Steve Holland, Woody, Johnny Evans, the coaching staff there have really revitalised that football club. The football club, they were very, very unfortunate not to win at Bournemouth. Although second half, I thought Bournemouth. But their energy the Bournemouth have is just unbelievable. They're such an exciting team to win.
Couple of penalty shouts. One given, one not. What do you reckon the other one?
No, I thought you can't give one and then not give the other. It irks me, Mick, but I don't want to go on to referees. I just want to say that I really do think Michael should take some credit for what he's doing. They're in the Champions League spot now. From when he took over, and then you had all the local experts slaughtering him for taking over. It's really custard pie, Mick.
Listen, I'm agreeing with you again. I think he's done a remarkable job, and I'm delighted for him because I think we've said before he did a great job up at Middlesbrough, and then did he lose the playoffs? And then they sold the best players.
Oh, he just failed to get in the playoffs.
I just failed. Yeah. And to come to Manchester United, and I think not listen to all the noise and get on with it and do his job.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the United players look like they're enjoying it now.
Yeah, there's what's name. There's a better balance about the team. I think they're round pegs in round holes, square pegs in square holes.
Steve Holland's a great coach though as well. He'd be a great assistant with him, to be fair.
Yeah.
So we've done all the waffling about Moyes, and everything else.
Yeah.
And, doing our loving with him. What do you think? Who's going to get first, second, third, fourth, fifth? Who's getting the European spots?
I think
Champions League.
Yeah, I think United. I'll pick the first two. You pick the last one. I think United and Villa for me would finish third and fourth. Who are you going for fifth, Mick?
I'm going for Moisey because I want him to get there. For no other reason. I mean, I don't know why, because they've had a bit of an up-down at times, but he's got them back on track. And by the way, I thought they were brilliant against Chelsea. So whether I think that or I want that, I'm not sure, but I'm going for Moisey.
Brilliant.
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if your team goes 2 goals up, you win. Job done. You're getting paid out. Singles, ACCAs, bet builders, it's all covered. And this also means that we need to reconsider some crucial games across your careers, Mick and Tony. In fact, I'm going to take you back to the Britannia Stadium, Halloween 2009, the first time Mick McCarthy meets Tony Pulis in the Premier League. Stoke go 2-0 up, but Mick, your Wolves team come back, draw 2-2, and I'm sorry, Mick, I'm taking the point off you. Because of BOYLE Sports' new laws, I'm afraid Stoke won that game. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
There you go. So get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they go on to win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
Right, so we've covered the potential winners of the Premier League.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them, of course. and the potential European qualifiers for the Champions League. So next is the one that none of us really like to talk about, and certainly not like to be involved in, is the relegation battle. So next to the battle to stay in the Premier League, it's now looking like a 4-way battle to stay up.
Yeah.
Burnley and Wolves are looking desperate. Burnley and Wolves they're going down.
Yeah.
There's no chance of that. But who out of Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham or West Ham do you think will join them?
Yeah, well, I really, I watched Tottenham on the weekend, and he certainly earned a bit of grace with the 2 performances at Liverpool and then in the European Cup.
Can we just say, because people listening to it, we're going to talk about Tottenham. We're not sure after the game whether Igor Tudor is still involved or not involved, whether he has been dismissed. There's a lot of talk about it. So anybody listening, we're talking that without that knowledge.
I like I say, I just think watching Tottenham on the weekend after 2 good results and with the supporters really, really coming out and backing them, it was such a disappointment to see their performance. The result, put the result to the side, I just think the performance of the team was really, really poor. And there's real question marks over, certain players. Now, whether that's down to the manager, Mick, or not, I don't know. They've had enough managers over the past, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. You can't keep blaming the manager. You can't keep blaming the manager. The players have got to stand up. The supporters were absolutely fantastic.
Line the streets, didn't they? On the way
absolutely unbelievable. The players got a massive responsibility, and they have to come up. Otherwise, if they're not up to the mark, they'll go down.
Well, to be beaten by the ones beneath them, just beneath, and by the way, being well beaten by them in the end, I mean, that's devastating. That is. And there's nobody, I bet there's nobody in Spurs who thinks we're staying up.
But
I predicted they go down. I thought they were a couple of weeks ago.
But this is the manager's programme.
They're not doing anything to convince me any differently, by the way.
This is the manager's programme. Let's go to the managers. The Forest manager has got experience in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He knows how to work it. He's been here. He's got that experience. The Tottenham manager has no experience, has no knowledge and no experience of what this league is like. So, even before going into that game, you're thinking, well, Tottenham have a couple of results, but the other fella sitting on the other side of the bench or the dugout, he knows exactly what's happening and what's going on and what's needed.
Pereira did it with Wolves, didn't he? Kept them up there. So it's 2 Premier League wins in 22 matches for Tottenham. Hey, by the way, I've had a few bad runs, but not even as bad as that, I don't think. Can a team simply forget how to win matches? Do they? I'm not sure. They don't forget, of course, but it just gets harder and harder. If you go on a run like that, a run where it's prolonged,
they need a bad performance and a lot of luck where they get over the line and win a game, and then hopefully that'll take the pressure off.
Well, of course, the Forest game was the one everybody was looking at, saying, we've got Forest come up. If we win that, then we're going to stay up.
But you know what the Premier League's like. You just cannot predict, and especially when they're down there and the pressure's on. Leeds are struggling to score goals at the moment. So they'll be a bit nervous. I think Leeds will be okay.
Not getting beat.
Yeah, they're keeping clean sheets, and I think they'll nick enough points to stay up. Fingers crossed, because I like the manager there. I think he's a really, really good lad. West Ham, our lads are not getting any sleep at night, worrying about the Hammers. So it'll be interesting. It'll be really, really interesting again. I'm not so sure what their performance was like on the weekend. I didn't watch it. People said it wasn't very good.
Didn't play well.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. So they've got to bounce back. So, there's a lot of excitement.
Leeds, I support Leeds. I've sad point since I was this big as a kid.
Yeah,
they're not getting beat.
Yeah,
they go and they get down to 10 men. Don't get beat.
Yeah,
they have a poor game against Brentford. Oh, by the way, we're talking about might getting to Europe.
Yeah.
Didn't get beat.
Yeah.
And if they keep getting that point again,
they'll be okay.
They've got enough. They'll stay up.
Who are you going, Mick? Who do you fancy out of the four?
Wolves, Burnley, and Spurs.
You going Spurs?
Yeah, I went that 2 weeks ago, and I've not changed my mind. I think the others have got momentum.
Yeah.
And unless, I don't want to see managers lose the job. But
yeah.
He's not done, and you quite rightly said, he's got no experience in the Premier League. And he hasn't apart from the last 2 games prior to the last one.
And I'm not blaming him, Mick. I'm not saying all the blame is on him. I think if I'm sat down in charge of Tottenham Hotspur and we're in the position, I'm thinking, I need someone who can get us out of this. I need someone who knows how to get out of this with the experience of getting out of this. And then, no disrespect to the manager, I didn't even know his background, Mick, when he was appointed.
No, I read about him, and he's had a history of keeping teams up. But you see, my thing is with the players as well. Everybody keeps telling me they've got a good squad, good players, recruitment, what they brought in. I know they've had injuries.
Yeah.
So what's that to do? Is that to do with the training, how they go about it? But I'm thinking those players, if some of them are going to the World Cup, for heaven's sakes,
but
do they never get into the dressing room and go, hold on a minute? This is not a team that's been promoted last year and we're struggling to go up. They're in the bottom 3.
This is
a team that won a European competition.
Yeah, but they struggled last year.
I know they finished 4th bottom.
But I'd come back at you at that and say it's not about good players, Mick. It's about a good team.
Absolutely.
And some of those players might need a livener.
Yeah, well, forgive me. I'm talking about the players getting together and saying, hold on a minute, let's have a look in this dressing room.
Yeah.
We've got World Cup players, international players. We ought to be doing better as well.
A few of them might need a little kick up the backside. But whatever they do, they're going to have to start winning quickly.
So we've discussed, well, not Burnley really, or Wolves, because we both think they're doomed. It's the third one. Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham or West Ham. I'm saying Leeds are getting a point a game. I think they're going to stay up. Forest have got a bit of momentum. West Ham not so sure. I've stuck my neck out. And said it's going to be Tottenham that go down.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you. So I'll. It's going to be out of Tottenham and West Ham. So I'm going to have to go West Ham.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair dues.
I've just been sacked.
I know, but what do you really think?
I'm just telling everybody out there now that I've just been sacked.
I'll tell you what, it's frightening when you're there. Let me just clear it up. It is frightening. So, yes, I've been there. I was there with Wolves, and you're forever looking over your shoulder. And then you have to get to grip with yourself and go, hold on a minute, it's about us. Let's see what points we can get. And if you can get that mentality into it and stop worrying about other people, you've got a much better chance.
I wasn't. One incident that I'll say, or one thing that I used to try and stay clear of everything. We played Man United on a 5:35 Saturday evening match or late afternoon match.
Great time, not it? 5:35.
5 or whatever time, Anyway, I go in the dressing room, go on the pitch, have a look at the pitch. I walk in the dressing room, and all the lads have got their phones out looking at the results. And I've gone absolutely berserk. Potty. I've just, it's not about, it's about us. We go out. Boas Myers is in goal instead of Ben. Ben was injured. Ben Foster was injured. Saves a penalty. We win 1-0. Coming afterwards, and Kempy went, thank God we won because all the results went against us. And he says, I was desperate. I'm saying to the lads, don't tell the gaffer what the results are. You'll go absolutely potty. But, and that's what you've got to try. Exactly what you've said, Mick. It's very difficult in today's world with so much information coming through. You've got to try and clear their minds and make them concentrate on one thing, and that is what they can affect. And the only thing they can affect is their performance as an individual and as a group to win a football match. The rest is nonsense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you again. That's 3 times.
Goodness.
I don't like that. Anyway, so Tom, we discussed the winners of the Premier League. We discussed the relegation fodder. There's still games going on in the middle of the table that cause interest, of course. And one over the weekend was Newcastle against Sunderland. Sunderland have not lost one of those games for 11, apparently. Eddie Howe now getting stick, calling for his head. And I think they should remember they won the first cup competition, winning the League Cup, Carabao Cup last year. But they're getting restless, and certainly having lost to their nearest and not so dearest rival, Sunderland. I can understand it, but do you think it's warranted? I don't.
I not only the League Cup, they've qualified for the Champions League for 2 years as well, since Eddie's been there. So he's actually taken a club over that were in the bottom, but were looking as though they were going to fight against relegation, and he spun it right round to what they're getting now. The problem in this country is the more you give people, the more they want. And there's loads and loads of people out there, never mind what you give them, Mick, they won't be happy, or they'll take it and then ask for a little bit more again and a little bit more again. I think the majority of Newcastle supporters actually adore Eddie Howe. I think they are absolutely delighted with what he's done at that football club and will back him. I think the board will back him. I don't think there's a problem. But the people who are moaning and groaning, really, they're everywhere, Mick. They are absolutely everywhere. It's not just in Newcastle. They are all around the country. And like I say, they're people who, never mind what you give them, they'll never be happy with. They'll always want a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And we're seeing a bit of that at Newcastle. It's disappointing. He's had a poor run of results. Eddie will be the first one. I know him.
There's had a few injuries as well.
Yeah, I know him, and he'll take it. He'll really, really take it hard because that's the way he is. But he's always bounced back. And fingers crossed, he'll wash this off. They'll have a good end to the season, and they've still got a great chance of finishing at the top end of the table if they win their game. 7-8 games to go, and they could go on and run. They're a good side. They've got some good players. If they can get that balance and get the injured players back, and they finish top half of the table up around one of the European positions, I'll be delighted for him because he's a good lad. He is a good lad.
I agree with that, and he's proved himself to be a good manager and a good coach. And of course, even as a good manager and a good coach with a club like Newcastle, it's a tough old gig to have. He's done brilliantly with them. And I think if he is, he should be given the chance to carry on. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute they should go anywhere, but I'm just saying that's the noise coming from out of it. And it doesn't surprise me because that's always the case at a club like Newcastle, big clubs. But he's been different class there, and he should be allowed to carry on. And if he ends up finishing mid-table this season, well, it's his recruitment and everything to do for next season, and he should certainly be there.
The Managers with Mick and Tony is powered by BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. And why is BOYLE Sports the home of the early payout? I hear you ask. Well, with BOYLE Sports, if the team you back goes 2 goals up, you win, job done, you're getting paid out. Singles, ACCAs, bet builders, it's all covered. And this means we need to reconsider a crucial game in your career, Tony. I'm talking, of course, about the 1999 playoff final when your Gillingham team were 2 goals up with 5 minutes to play. Obviously, that means, in the eyes of BOYLE Sports, you have now won the Second Division playoff final, 1999. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And also, West Ham won the 2006 FA Cup final, which is great. And commiserations to Liverpool for not winning the 2005 Champions League. And obviously, now Gillingham have won the 1999 Second Division playoff final. Commiserations to Nicky Weaver and Manchester City. Yes, get paid out as a winner if your team goes 2 goals ahead, even if they win, lose or draw. 90 minutes only, applies to singles and multiples. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports, the home of the early payout. Head to boylesports.com or download the app to find out more.
Right, so next to the EFL and the Championship, Coventry looks set to win the Championship title. I mean, they had a little bit of they caught the shins, didn't they, on a few of them, on those little hurdles for a while, but are they 9 points clear out of way?
They bounced back, Nick.
So they look like they're going to win the title. But the race for second automatic promotion spot is heating up. Middlesbrough, Ipswich and Millwall are all in the mix, though Borough are currently in the box seat. Who do you think will join Coventry in the Premier League, Tom?
I think Borough, I've said it all along, and they've had a bad run. I think they've picked up 1 point in 3 games or whatever it is. But we all have, as you've said, Mick, we all have that stutter along the way. I just think they're the best balanced out of all the teams we're talking about. Ipswich, Millwall, I just... Hull as well, and Wrexham. I just, Derby are in the mix now. They've got into the mix as well. I just think Borough are the best balanced team. So not with maybe the individuals that Ipswich have got, but I'll watch Ipswich. I think Borough look a better team than Ipswich. And I'm talking about team. Ipswich might have better players.
Well, they're a good team. Both of them are good teams.
But I'm going Borough.
Well, I watched the game Millwall, of course, and me judging going between Ipswich and Millwall, that's going to be a real good one. That one. Ipswich were very, very good in the first half. Looked like they were going to win it. Millwall in the second half turned it around completely, and the keeper had a great save. They hit the crossbar in the last minutes where Millwall they'd have won it if they'd have got those. I think Middlesbrough will get the second spot. I would prefer it if it was Ipswich or Millwall. I mean, Millwall especially, I was there as a player and it gave me my first job. And he is doing a great job there, Alex Neil.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, without the budget of others, but they play some real pragmatic football. I said every time, free kick in the half gets in the box, big centre-backs. But when they've got it down, they play nice football. But they're a blooming hard team to
play
beat.
against.
Oh, absolutely they are, yeah. So, having seen Middlesbrough 2 or 3 times, I think they're the next team, best team, to Coventry. And then I guess I hope Ipswich and Millwall don't finish third, because third hardly ever go up, do they? I know they get the best fixtures. They get the first one away. Anyway, I would take Middlesbrough, having seen them. I don't know what the fixtures are, but I'd prefer it if it was Ipswich or Millwall. I really would. There is, of course, the playoffs, and I'm saying about the one that finishes third. Southampton are coming like a steam engine from right behind. And it's not about me, I know that, but I had this when I was at Sunderland. Finished third. Dowie, who we had on, of course, comes up. They were bottom of the league. He takes over. What a transformation. Finish in the playoffs. He wins it. He gets promoted.
Yeah.
I can see another one of them. I think Southampton are really. It's the one that's got, momentum. And
being a professional manager, being in the game all your life, do you think the playoffs are a good thing?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I don't want them extended, though. I've somebody was suggesting.
I was just going to say that was my next question.
Going down to eighth. Eighth have got 20 points less than somebody's finished in third. They don't deserve to get a chance to get promoted. No.
Yeah.
And will it make it interesting? No, not really. No, I think it gives what they're trying to do. They're trying to get teams momentum to finish eighth. Oh, let's finish eighth. We'll get in the playoffs. Of course, it would be like that. I mean, if I get another job, I'd be delighted to finish eighth and have a chance to get up. But I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I really don't.
You're saying as a professional in the game, what do you think about the supporters on the terraces? I
think that all the bottom half of them, the teams that are not the top 4, top 6, would all be absolutely thrilled the fact that their season they could be in 14th spot with not a lot many points, thinking we could still get promoted with 10, 15 games to go. They're still in the promotion race. They'll be looking behind them thinking, we could get relegated here. They'll be looking in front of them going, we could get promoted. I mean,
let's make it 10, eh?
Yeah. I just don't think that's right. If you've gone through the season, you've finished third and you've got 80 points and somebody's down there who's got 52 something. I don't know. They might be wrong in terms of points, but you know what I mean.
What actually is the biggest difference between a third place and a sixth place, and then the sixth place actually get promoted, and the third place one who's had?
There is a good bit definitely between sixth. And
I can't think the difference.
No, well, you might miss out in third spot with 90 points.
Yeah.
And you might get promoted. You might be in the playoffs with 74, 70,
72, probably. 73, yeah.
Yeah. So there again, you can be
20 points.
20 points behind. So Tony, I'll give you the stats of a minute, not the stats, but the positions. So who's going up via the playoffs? We think Coventry's going to go up. Middlesbrough second, 71. Ipswich third, 69. Millwall fourth, 69. Hull fifth, 66. Southampton sixth with 63, and Wrexham as far as seventh, 63 points. And I think we'd have to go to Derby as well with 60. So we're going down to those 8 teams. What do you think? Playoffs, who's going to go up? Who'll get in the playoffs? Who'll win them?
Yeah, you've got to look at momentum with the playoffs, without a question of a doubt. And if Southampton do carry it on, I think there's a big week coming up for Southampton. Southampton play Arsenal in the quarterfinals of the Cup. That's going to be a massive week for them. And the reaction after that game, whichever way it goes, will most probably determine whether they get in or not. So that's because it's massive.
Yeah, well, interesting. You know about your fixtures. So they've got Arsenal, determines that one. So we've just mentioned the next one is Wrexham away.
Yeah.
And the other one is Southampton Derby. So there's 7th and 8th, they're playing.
Yeah.
I personally think the way they're going, they'll win them. But the Arsenal game, of course, will have an effect.
Well, I think that has a massive effect on what they do then carrying on for at least 1 or 2 games. They've got the momentum, and you would go from there. I think it's very, very. Ipswich have got the best players, most probably. Millwall have most probably got the best team in respect of the way they play.
I think so,
and they're so matter of fact in the way they play. So those two obviously deserve to be in there. I've not seen a lot of Hull, but they've done fantastic, Mick. I've put them down a couple of times, in my win and lose things, and they've always let me down. So I'm hoping they drop out. But no, I'd go.
Bitter and twisted, Pulis.
Wow. Wrexham. The momentum. If Wrexham get in it, Mick, the momentum they have had over the past 4 years is astonishing. It's astonishing. And if Derby nick in, then they're going to be absolutely flying. It's such a tough one to call.
It is a tough one to call. And of course, like I said, finishing third very often gets let down. It's the ones that just scrape in.
Yeah.
Somebody's dropped out a second spot into third. They miss out. That is devastating for them.
Yeah.
And that could happen because Middlesbrough 71 and Ipswich 69, Millwall 69. I do think Ipswich, I agree with you, got the best players. Look like if they all turn it on in the
games,
remaining games, you'd fancy them to do it.
Yeah.
But Millwall have been so stoic about it all, really good. And I went down, and I must say, if you don't mind, I went down to have a young lad who 21 he is, and he's been in a wheelchair since he was born. And I asked Alex if I could take him down. I took him down to see the lads, and every one of those came out of the dressing rooms, shook his hand, gave him a hug, and made him so welcome, as did Alex. And so Millwall get a bad rap for a lot of things. Let me tell you, they were fabulous with him. And I had to go, and I left him. He had lunch with them, and they all came out and signed his shirts, and he had the best day, Freddie. So,
Kempy worked at Millwall twice, and you've been there as well.
Yeah.
And the way he sums it up is the supporters are a little bit lively, but the football club itself
brilliant.
Is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. So,
that was Dave summing up of Millwall.
Ipswich or Millwall, for me, I'm afraid. I've been at both clubs.
So which one you going, Ipswich or Millwall?
No, I'm not telling you that. Listen, let me just get my claws on that fence, will you? I'm flapping a bit there. Don't even think about asking me that one. And then, out of all of them, Southampton, I agree with you again, I'm really getting sick of this.
Yeah.
That it's the team with momentum that come up. And have you seen their results? I mean, they've been unbelievable.
Yeah.
So let's just win the last ones. Win, draw, 1, draw, 1, draw, 1. I mean, that is some set of...
They're due a loss.
I'm going to say, that is the only bit of comfort you can get out of that if you draw them. They're due to lose at some stage. So I'm going, I'd like Millwall or Ipswich to get...
yeah.
If I can get them in second and third and one goes up through the playoffs, I'll be delighted. Right, Tom, good to see you. We're back at it with our predictions, so go on, let me have yours.
Well, I'll start with the FA Cup. Chelsea against Port Vale. I'm going for Chelsea.
Really?
I think... as much as I'd love the upset, I'm going with Chelsea. They got something, if they win that game then... they got a game at Wembley and they've got a chance to get to the FA Cup. And, if they win the FA Cup, then the pressure's off Liam. The second one is Rangers to beat Dundee. Rangers are home to beat Dundee. 3 clubs still at it there, Celtic, Hearts and Rangers. Because it's an home game, I think Rangers will have too much for Dundee. Then I'll drop down and I go MK Dons, who had not a great result this weekend against Barrow. At home, I think MK Dons will win that one. And I finish off with Grimsby against Harrogate. Harrogate have done fantastic with the budget they've got. And, they're small ground. I think the manager's been there about 27 years, haven't he? They've never changed him.
17 years.
17 years. Yeah. I thought it was 27 years. But there we are. I'm going Grimsby. So my £10 returns £28, 11p, including the Acca boost from BOYLE Sports.
All right, mate. Well, I'm going Lincoln to beat Wimbledon. Lincoln, top of the league. They're flying. If they're going to stay top, get champions, They want to beat Wimbledon at home, that's for sure. Wimbledon is just mid-table. So Lincoln to beat Wimbledon, Stoke to beat Sheffield Wednesday. I'm afraid Sheffield Wednesday, they get my vote every week to be beaten, so they're getting it this week as well. Stoke are mid-table, Sheffield Wednesday, they haven't won a game since September or something, so Stoke to beat Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, they are. And Stoke to beat Sheffield Wednesday, then they're all promotion going as much as anything. Bradford to beat Northampton. Northampton down in the middle of the table below that, actually. Bradford looking for promotion. If they want to get promoted, they've got to beat them at home. So Bradford to beat Northampton. And then I've got to go to Scotland, a bit like yourself. Hearts to beat Livingston. Hearts are top, Livingston are down near the bottom. Yeah. If Hearts are going to win the championship for the first time in I don't know how many years, they cannot let Livingston get anything off them. So Hearts to beat Livingston. And £10 returns £39 and 7p, including the ACCA boost from BOYLE Sports. Next, we go to Scotland, which we've done and analysed it, and I'm not so sure we got it right. But anyway, with 7 matches left, Hearts lead the way by 3 points. There's 2 matches before the league splits. Rangers trailing second, while Celtic are third, 5 points adrift of Hearts. This has probably been the story of the season. Can Hearts go all the way and win the title?
Well, they're in pole position. It's all down to them now, Mick. They got no other obstructions to me. Nope. If they win the games, they win the league. I watched Martin yesterday on the TV or on the weekend against when they got beat at Dundee, and he looked absolutely whacked. You know, the job he's done there has been absolutely fantastic. He's dragged the club up to where they are. Week in, week out, you know, what is he, about 105 now, Martin? So, you know, all that is...
No, sorry, did you say he looks 105? Because let me tell you, it does drain you. It does. Well, even with somebody's experiences, Martin, it does.
He has done a remarkable... I like him as an individual, and I think he's done an unbelievable job there. Well, it's remarkable, really.
We do like him. We want him on here, but, you know...
Yeah, he'll ask too much. But anyway, the what's the name? The fact that he's got him to where they are is brilliant. And it was a little bit, I watched him and it was a little bit like, come on, Martin, there's one more in there for you. And whether he's got that in him to really drive them now for the last few games to get over the line, I'd be absolutely delighted for him. For him personally, never mind anybody else or anything, him personally, if he was to do that, that's one of the great achievements for me.
Well, it'd be much better getting him on here because he says he'll come on with his winner's trophy and medal, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, you and I both know how much you have to give.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Mick. Yeah.
To get results. And at a time like this, when it's coming to the very end, you give everything of yourself.
Yeah.
And you do end up looking drained. And by the way, when the holidays come round and somebody says, are you going away? I've already gone. That's a long time after that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I have to say, Derek McInnes, who we both will have managed.
Yes,
I have certainly, and his teams were always put together really well. Certainly down at Bristol City, and he was always a tough nut to crack. And he's done brilliant up there to take Hearts. I know they've got the backing. Is it Brentford? Brighton. Sorry, yeah. Brighton. Their players, what they can get their recruitment, but nevertheless. Recruitment's one thing, you've still got to get him to play. And for him to be at the top of the league now, he's done a brilliant job. I still don't want him to win it. I want Martin to win it. But I have to take my hat off to him and congratulate him on the job he's done. Yeah.
Fabulous. And Rangers could still nick in. It's a great finish to the season up in Scotland. When you look at it, it's going to be a great finish to the season.
We talk about Roll, the job he's done at Rangers from taking over there.
Yeah.
You know, isn't it amazing that the top 3 teams have all had change of manager, and all 3 of them who've come in have done really well.
Yeah.
So I don't think either of us is going to predict who's going to win that because there's plenty of games left and it's a tough one to predict. I'm not anyway. You know, I want Celtic to win it. But the last team to win the title, other than Celtic or Rangers, was Aberdeen, under no less than Sir Alex Ferguson.
So who are you going for then, Mick? Out of those 3?
Hearts' last title came in 1960.
That's not my question.
I'm going for Hearts to stick it out, to win the title. Yeah, because I think having lost at the weekend to Dundee United, that's an awful result for Celtic. That will knock them back, I think. And if it's not going to be Celtic, I'll take Hearts over Rangers any day. So come on, you tell me who's going to win it.
Well, I've left no choice. I want Martin to win it for Celtic. I like I say, that would be one of the great achievements, I think, of his career. Never mind, doing what he's done there, and all the problems and issues they have behind the scenes. It'd be absolutely fabulous. But I think Hearts have got it to lose now. I really do. I think it's theirs. Everything now, and I've always been that sort of person. Forget what everybody else is doing. If we can do this, nobody can stop us.
Well,
so let's concentrate on us, not them and not them, but let's concentrate on us.
They've just stuck at it, haven't they? They've stayed there. Every time we've talked about it, we think, they haven't got caught. So fair play to them. Heart, Celtic, Head. I'm saying Hearts because they're top of the league.
Okay. Right,
so that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you want to email us in with any thoughts or questions, you can get us via hello@themanagerspod.com. See you next week, Tom.
Yeah. Cheers, Mick.